Top 10 Rarest and Most Iconic Ford Mustangs from the 1960s and 70s. Like fireworks on the 4th of July, few things are as American as a Ford Mustang. Since the pony car's introduction on April 17, 1964, the Mustang has stood as the backbone of American style and performance. Just as each decade has changed the culture of the United States, the Mustang has changed in meaningful ways even early on in its life, quickly becoming the muscle car it was never originally meant to be. Here is our top 10 list of the rarest and most iconic Mustangs from that era, each with its unique story and legacy. Number 10. 1965 Shelby Mustang GT350. Taking aim at amateur sports car racing in 1965, Ford approached none other than track legend Carroll Shelby to Corvettify the Mustang, which it did on the new 1965 fastback coupe body style. Shelby would build 34 GT350R models in 1965 to go head-to-head with the Corvette. They used built-up 289 cubic inch small block V8s, putting out 350 horsepower, and when combined with a mass reduction program consisting of a lightweight fiberglass air dam, acrylic side windows, lightweight torque thrust wheels, quarter window closeouts, and a 34-gallon fuel tank for endurance racing, the GT350R was capable of blasting the 0 to 60 mile per hour time in 5 seconds and conquering the quarter mile time in 13.6 seconds. One of the two prototypes recently sold at auction for $3.85 million. Number 9. 1967 Ford Shelby GT500 Super Snake. Built originally as a vehicle to test tires for Goodyear, the 1967 Ford Shelby GT500 Super Snake was a one-and-done proposition that was later sold to Melbourne's Ford for display. Years later, with the Shelby Revolution in full bloom, a special edition continuation series of 10 cars was built from 1967 Mustang fastback donor cars to mimic the original Super Snake. These were equipped with a 550 horsepower, 427 cubic inch big block mated to a 4-speed transmission, and heavy-duty front disc brakes, Detroit locker rear end, traction bars, and special Goodyear Thunderbolt tires. It boasts a 427 V8 engine with a 525 horsepower, hitting a top speed of 170 miles per hour. With its sleek fastback design, racing stripes, 4-speed manual transmission, unique badging, and a quarter mile in just over 11 seconds, it's a rare muscle car icon. Each continuation car was built in Pennsylvania in 2017 and went out the door with a $249,995 price tag. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future classic car videos. Number 8. 1978 Mustang II King Cobra. This model emerged during a challenging time for muscle cars, with the fuel crisis and stringent emissions regulations reshaping the industry. Despite these constraints, the King Cobra managed to carve out its own niche. With a quarter mile time of around 17 seconds and a top speed of 110 miles per hour, it wasn't the fastest Mustang, but it had other charms. Powered by a 302 cubic inch V8 engine, producing 139 horsepower and 250 pound-feet of torque, it featured a 4-speed manual or 3-speed automatic transmission. The King Cobra's distinctive T-tops, unique graphics, and sporty suspension setup made it stand out. Ford built 4,318 King Cobras in 1978, an option that cost an additional $1,253. This came with the 2-barrel 302 engine, 4-speed manual transmission, power brakes and steering, lace-spoked aluminum wheels, front brake cooling ducts, and a rally package that provided heavy-duty shocks and a rear anti-roll bar. Fans loved its bold styling and appreciated its attempt to keep the Mustang spirit alive in a difficult era. Number 7. 1969 Boss 429 Mustang. Manufacturers went head-to-head in NASCAR during the 1960s, and for many years the main battle was between Ford and Mopar. When Chrysler put the Hemi in Dodges and Plymouths for 1964, Ford complained, and the Hemi was banned for 1965 on the technicality that the Hemi wasn't available in production cars. After Chrysler put the street Hemi in cars for 1966 and began dominating again, Ford got upset. Instead of pitching another fit, they got even with the 375 horsepower Boss 429 big block V8, but dropped it into the Boss 429 Mustang instead of a full-size car or mid-size passenger car. Rules only required that the engine be offered to the public, and not necessarily in the car it'd be raced in, which would be the mid-size Torino. Thus was born the limited production Boss 429 Mustang. It hit the quarter mile in 13.5 seconds at 105 miles per hour. Just 859 Boss 429s were minted in 1969, making it one of the most sought-after Mustangs in history. Number 6. 1972 Mustang Sprint. Next we have the 1972 Mustang Sprint, a special edition built to celebrate the Olympics. This model is a rare piece of Mustang history, known for its unique red, white, and blue color scheme and special badging. Available in both fastback and convertible body styles, the Sprint offered a modest performance with a quarter-mile time around 16 seconds and a top speed of 112 miles per hour. It was powered by a 302 cubic inch V8 engine producing 250 horsepower and 300 pound-feet of torque, paired with either a 3-speed manual or automatic transmission. Enthusiasts appreciated the Sprint for its patriotic theme and limited production, which make it a standout collector's item. Number 5. 1970 Mustang Boss 302. This legend was built for Trans Am racing and quickly became an icon. With a high-winding 302 cubic inch V8 engine producing 290 horsepower and 290 pound-feet of torque, it was designed for high-speed performance and agility. It could complete the quarter-mile time in around 14.9 seconds and had a top speed of 118 miles per hour. The Boss 302 featured a 4-speed manual transmission and competition suspension, making it a joy to drive on both the track and the street. The Boss 302 was a performance variant of the 1969 to 1970 first-generation Ford Mustang. In response to the growing racing competition offered by the Chevrolet Camaro, Ford decided to create 2 new performance-focused Mustang variants in order to regain the company's foothold in North American motorsports. Its striking graphics and aggressive stance make it a favorite among Mustang enthusiasts who appreciated its race-bred handling and style. A total of 8,641 Boss 302 Mustangs were built for the 1969 and 1970 model years before the model was discontinued. Ford would later revive the name as part of the 5th generation Ford Mustang. If you love cars as much as we do, go ahead and press that subscribe button to keep up to date with the latest car-loving videos. Number 4. 1970 Mustang Mach 1 351 Cleveland. Another standout from 1970 is the Mach 1 351 Cleveland. This model was powered by the versatile and high-revving 351 cubic inch Cleveland V8 engine, producing 300 horsepower and 385 pound-feet of torque. With a quarter-mile time of 14.5 seconds and a top speed of 125 miles per hour, it offered impressive performance. It came with a 4-speed manual or 3-speed automatic transmission and featured a sport deck rear seat, matte black hood, and honeycomb grille. The 351 Cleveland Mach 1 combined great looks with reliable power, making it a beloved model among muscle car fans. Number 3. 1971 Mustang Boss 351. The Boss 351, produced in 1971, came at a time when muscle cars were starting to be affected by emissions regulations. Despite this, it delivered impressive performance with a high-revving 351 cubic inch Cleveland V8 engine producing 330 horsepower and 370 pound-feet of torque. With a quarter-mile time of around 13.8 seconds and a top speed of 140 miles per hour, it featured a 4-speed manual transmission, Hurst shifter, and competition suspension. The Boss 351 combined power and sleek design, making it a favorite among Mustang enthusiasts who valued its blend of performance and style. Number 2, 1968 Ford Mustang California Special. It's loud, it's fast, it's real, and it's just the way we like it. A genuine 68 Mustang California Special that's at home on the strip and the street. With 4,118 produced, the 1968 Ford Mustang California Special is still rare, but numerous enough that the average fan can still afford one. Affordable performance is what Ford had in mind when regional special editions started popping up, first in Texas, then Denver, and then on the West Coast with the California Special. The components that made a Mustang into a California Special included a blacked-out grille with aftermarket fog lamps, non-functional fiberglass side scoops, side striping, a fiberglass rear deck lid, and quarter panel caps from the 1968 Shelby convertible, Shelby taillights, and California Special identification. Top speed was around 115 miles per hour for the more powerful engine options, such as the 390 cubic inch V8, and quarter mile time was around 15 seconds, also for the higher performance engines. These figures would vary based on the specific engine and transmission combination. The California Special's appeal was more about its unique appearance and special edition status rather than any significant performance enhancements. Number 1, 1968 Ford Mustang Bullet. Arguably one of the most famous movie Mustang icons is the 1968 Mustang from Bullet, starring Steve McQueen. Here, the green Mustang can be seen chasing baddies and driving a Dodge Charger, ravaging the streets of San Francisco. Made famous by Steve McQueen's movie Bullet, its most notable feature is the Highland green paint, paired with a 390 cubic inch V8 engine producing 350 horsepower. The Bullet could hit a top speed of around 115 miles per hour and complete the quarter mile time in about 13.5 seconds. The car also featured unique debadged styling and a blacked out grille and torque thrust wheels, giving it a distinct tough look. So popular, in fact, that at a recent auction at Mecum in 2020, this car sold for an eye-popping $3.74 million. The Bullet's combination of performance and Hollywood fame makes it one of the most celebrated Mustangs of all time. The 1960s and 70s saw the Mustang go through a lot of changes, from the high-performance beasts of the early years to the more restrained models later in the decade. Each of these Mustangs has its own unique story and a set of features that make it special. Whether it's the raw power of the Boss 429 or the patriotic flair of the Sprint, these cars represent the best of what the Mustang had to offer during a turbulent time in automotive history. These Mustangs aren't just cars, they're pieces of Americana, each with its own unique place in the hearts of enthusiasts and collectors. They embody the spirit of an era where muscle cars were king, and their legacy continues to inspire and captivate to this day. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a casual fan, there's no denying the impact these Mustangs have had on the automotive world. Let us know which one's your favorite and what you'd like to see next.